What Remains of Edith Finch. I just opened it up for the first time, and just looking around, it already looks kind of spoopy. So yeah, I'm not happy about that, because I do not like horror games, although there is some Chinese food right there. Cigarette, bit of newspaper, flowers. So... oh no, we're sinking.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that.
This is
I'm just going
spoopy.
to start at the beginning, with the house.
Is this a story? Oh no. Broken fences, that's never a good sign. Any sprint button? The Finches. Huh. So that's interesting.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
I don't think there's a sprint. We'll see what this little house is.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Can I open them? I'm just gonna put it back.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Just checking my mic was muted. Sorry about that one.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Oh no, there's a choice. That looks dark and spoopy, so I'm not going that way. I looked at the review for this game, and it was a 10 out of 10, so I'm pretty confident this is good.
But I saw a few hoof prints.
Ooh. What's that necklace? Never mind. I'm disappointed I didn't get a kill it, but you don't always get what you want. How did that deer get through here? Probably jumped.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
The house looks spoopy.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Somebody's been missing. Milton Finch.
As a
Milton
child,
Finch.
The house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
I think I can. Spoopy. Knocked over chairs. 1,000 missing notes. A perfectly good table. And all the moss and stuff.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
She can say that one as well. The word that it said, the fact that it said afraid, makes me afraid. Key.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Key. Oh, how lucky am I? Oh, don't look.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Okay, it's actually not that spoopy. It looks like a pretty good house. These aren't stairs. I feel like I could just crouch and slide down here at a million miles an hour. Is there anything I can do here? It's like an overgrown ladybug. Wind chimes making an unsettling noise. Hole in the fence.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
I'm gonna quickly check the broadcast chat. But hopefully I don't get spooked too hard. Don't crawl in.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Oh no. Oh no. Actually, those screwdrivers aren't that bad. Oh no. Oh no. I don't really know what that is.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
No, don't say that.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
This game is so creepy.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
I know symptoms of a horror game. The review of this didn't say horror game, which gave me some form of confidence.
The table was still
but
a wreck
now I'm
from the
losing
night
it.
Left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing my mom was the only one of us who could imagine great-grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
What's through here? Oh, it's just a garage. I don't like the footsteps. Can we turn the footsteps off? Sound effects, you turn that way down. I don't want to be too spooked. Brightness, we'll turn that up so nothing that looks dark and spoopy. Oh no, now it looks even worse. Somehow.
After Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got pretty sick of salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Fish! Oh no, what's through here?
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Buried? Can I go to the doorknob? Oh, it's one of those things. Whatever they're called.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Peep.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Ooh, I heard lip smacking. Ew.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Bigfoot. Some pretty big feet.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
This looks like a twin's bedroom.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Oh. And who's this Gregory?
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
I want to test the key on something I got during the start. Does that have any significance?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Try the key. Oh, the key.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Oh no.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Oh no.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
It's a children's bedroom.
No idea where all this was gonna lead.
It's a children's bedroom. It's a child's bedroom. Oh no. Oh, Molly. Wasn't that the person who was gone?
December 13th, 1947.
Guess not.
Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
No, don't do this.
I kept eating and eating.
Don't eat that, you dumber. Next thing you know, you're eating
I
out
ate
of
a
the
lot
toilet.
of things that night.
Assuming this is how the kid dies from food poisoning.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
We'll eat everything
My
first.
Halloween candy was all gone.
Oh, that's terrible.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
I'm hungry.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Holy crap, I didn't expect that, but, how do we jump? Oh. Ooh.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Jump. Wait, jump. Ooh. 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 Ooh.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Where do I go now? Up? Ooh. What? Ooh. Spam. Speeve.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Angry.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Don't eat the bird because you're hungry.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Oh, she said it. Oh no. Oh.
I gobbled her up.
No, you can't see that.
Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
By the way, Aiden, I hear you asking, what am I watching? I'm not watching anything. This is a game. And it's in the title.
Rabbits.
This game looks amazing. Whoa, bird! Oh no, we gotta eat the rabbits. Gobble, gobble.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
That's not good.
A mama rabbit.
Where's the rabbit? Come here, you little piece of... Where'd the rabbit go? Haha, om nom nom.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly...
I don't wanna... A shark. Are you kidding me? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, whoop. Wow.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean.
Ooh, yummy.
Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Oh, don't eat a fish. Don't eat. Oh, she's gonna eat a person.
Juicy seals.
She's gonna eat a person at the end. Oh no.
I tore off her flipper and it tasted really good.
This is why you don't send your children to bed without food, because they turn into sharks. Now I don't know where to go. Come here.
Tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
What am I, a snake? Everything had changed. I don't even have eyes. What am I? A crocodile tail.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Here it is.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
That's not going on YouTube.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Don't stop. That time wasn't as bad. Now I see why this game got a 10 out of 10. It's actually really good.
After the last...
That one was
Across the water, I saw
maybe a little bit worse.
something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Was still the monster?
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Slither, slither, slither. Woo. I'm gonna eat myself, aren't I? This is the toilet, the toothpaste eaten.
I got closer and closer.
Just open the door all the way. Molly.
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Good. Oh, that was probably the scariest part of the... That's the flashlight.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Oh boy. That's the flashlight from under the bed. Chair. Whoa, my cat.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom.
Ooh, hide and seek now.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Was the mole man the dad? Who's the dad? I have no idea who any of this is, so I'm just gonna ignore it.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their
Oh, it's
fortune
one of these things.
and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edith, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Oh
His
no,
daughter
we're
Edith
gonna
is
have to
already
go
dreaming
to a
of the new Finch
cemetery.
house.
Ooh, boo.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
That's the family book.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Yeah, carpet on the floor.
It was a pretty big trace.
Is there any toothpaste to eat? He is one of those things. I mean, if you're gonna title a book that,
There's
why
a
not?
secret in this bathroom.
Might as well not have that book there.
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Ooh. Look before you damn leap. That's dark.
Sven gave Sam
So
an old
that's-
camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
I mean, there's nothing to do. Oh no, what? The music start, there's music. Oh, I don't like the music. Get rid of the music. Actually, no, it's happy music. Keep the music. Oh, jumpy. To infinity and beyond.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
It's the twins' bedroom, I guessed it.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Oh. Put it on. She's not putting it on.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch.
Oh, the
The thing I
characters are a
remember
different story.
is that when he made up his mind,
That's
that was it.
nice. We've got broken leg on the swings. I know how to swing. That's
My
a cool
brother said he'd
concept.
die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Oh, we fell. Oh no, he's gotta jump off the swing.
Calvin, dinner's ready. Coming.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
I hear
I told him
footsteps.
going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
He's gonna do loop-de-loops.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Why did all of these people die as kids? Like,
After the funeral,
probably
Edie
is a
roped off
curse.
Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Hungry, hungry caterpillars. Oop, 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 oop. Another character. Or a secret room.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Save it for later. Oh, this is the spoopy room.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
No, get out of there. Don't get in the box. Get out of... There it is. So if my commentary is ruining the game, that's just
I never
me.
thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
I don't like that voice. Oh, now we're in the
She
game.
reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Combat. It's gonna be a jump scare.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Boss music, boss music. Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the Hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And whoever he was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving. She sensed the story might not be over yet.
This is probably the scariest part of it so far. He's gone.
The Hookman had vanished.
Go
She
jump.
listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
I'm gonna quickly stabby.
At the door, she heard whispering.
I'm spamming the attack button.
Inside the house.
You were wonderful.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
I hate the pumpkin guy. Especially for making that joke.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ooh. 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 Okay, that's enough. That was a bit spooky. What next? We go out the door? Surely we don't go back where we came from. Bob Street. Just no for nothing.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
I think that's this room done. It froze. Okay, now it's not froze. I thought that thing from before would come in handy. Well, where was it actually? Oh yeah, it was through the window. Guess not.
I wonder if that comic was right about there being a key inside the music box near the basement.
Don't take the key.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Maybe I should go check out that music box down by the basement.
Maybe I should go check out that music box. Yeah, but how? I've forgotten. There's a chair in the shower. Maybe it's back through here?
If I keep winding the music box, maybe a key will pop out like it did in the comic book.
Uh-huh. And it said down by the basement. Autosave. Autosave. Something's coming up. It's now darker than it was before. Holy spaghetti. Close the music box.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
There's the fridge.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
I don't like the color.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
I don't.
She said after
like
Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe
That's
I've been
deep.
down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
Nice tunes. That's what I do.
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Peaches.
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting.
Waiting.
Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Damn stool. I have to go to the dark way. Oh. Or the bunker.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
Oh boy.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
Food.
I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
He lived a good time.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Now let's go the way he did.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
No, go in. Why am I having trouble with this? There we go, finally. Tomato. Cereal.
But if she never told me about an uncle under the house,
an uncle,
I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive.
Oh no.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself. And found out what happened to everyone else.
So who have I got ready? Only 4 people.
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Keep in mind, I am not this person. This is like Interception.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
But I'm reading a story about someone who reads stories about her family. your family. Ooh, relatives.
And the history you're a part of.
For a second I thought that was a Thanos face.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
So this game was made in 2016, because at the start she said she was 17 and she was born in 1999.
And when you look at the house, had that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Ew, the arms are so skinny. Or the pee-pee hole we looked through at the start. If we end up completing the whole game, this session, I'll get rid of the part 1 title.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit
Here's
this,
the
but
cemetery.
the pet cemetery may be more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
That's a movie. Derpy, Derpy Jr., Burpy, Chirpy, Furpy, Lurpy, Zerpy. Then a bunch of other people we don't care about. Except for Bob.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Edie. Hubnit Fleck. Barbara.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Oh. Oh, that's the end. It's not the end of the story, though. Can we jump? No. Haha. Funny, let's make him backtrack. Can't look through it again. So you must have to go back.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
A treehouse. If there's someone
I wish I could ask my mom
in the treehouse,
part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along.
Would be so spooky
for me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oh. Can we go up here? That was a ladder. Ladder's here. Exhilarating gameplay.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Is that happy music? Because for a second there I thought it was boss music. Oh, the baby playground. And there's a baby. Well, there was.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Hey.
Over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
You.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
Ducks. Duck.
What his
Duck.
world was like.
Duck.
Reminded me so much of Calvin.
Come here, ducks. Ooh.
Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw.
Let's get the whale.
It sure made him happy.
How long was that phone call? I mean, for all this to happen. Come on down. Woo! How can this, like, what, 3-year-old?
I know how silly it sounds.
Bubbles.
I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Now I'm really sad.
Hold on,
I don't have Frog anymore. E. E. E.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
This is by far my favorite part.
There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
Come here,
What
whale.
happened wasn't your fault.
Did he get his fingers stuck in the drain?
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Bubble bath, ducks. Why is there a punching bag in the baby's room? Can't interact with it. It adds nothing to the plot.
After her brothers
It
died.
makes no sense.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Okay. First off, I see a Bible, I see that.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Bunch of stuff.
I can't imagine what it was like for her to lose 2 sons after she'd already lost 2 brothers.
No, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, up we go. Don't you just love video games?
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Now we go down here. What's on the board? Can't be bothered to read that. Oh, back we go. There's probably a joke here. I just don't know. What is this?
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir. These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
I thought they were baguettes. Supposed to take one of the water.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Nothing quite like being outside.
Hey!
That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time.
Yeah.
Give me a minute to check the map.
One of these has to be the thumbnail.
Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Let's see. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
What should I be doing? That's a good photo. I'm surprised someone's watching. That's pretty interesting. A gun. Some of these are pretty okay. am I meant to be doing? We have all this, that's pretty good. I genuinely don't know what I should be doing. Hey, there's a mask. Hey, there's that. Chips.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Bird. Burb. Now what am I supposed to take a picture of? Do I take a picture of him now?
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready.
Oh.
Great shot, Dawn!
That was a nice one. Selfie.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Can't I take more pictures?
Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
That's sad.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
What next? Under the bed? Well, now what? Maybe now we go back in here?
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Do we have to do the Gregory thing again? Because if so, I will be glad to.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
I think my kite died. Hi guys, kite. Oh!
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Ooh, plot.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I remember.
Husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Yippee hooray! Now find the next words. Words.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
That's not good for YouTube.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Cheers! Slurp, slurp, slurp.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. Thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power, but all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Seems like we've got everyone here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 more people. Ew. And then I'll probably die at the end because that's just what I'm expecting. Just damn. How long has the stream been going for? Can someone in the chat tell me? Or Aiden? in the chat? Tell me? Because I can't be bothered to see. How does this house still have power and on lights? What am I supposed to do? Do I go back? Like, back? I can't. Do I go around here? I am confused. Do we go back in here for the third time? I hope we find something new. Looks like we are. I'm cold.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
Wait, is that the kid who was missing? Milton, he died in 2003.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Edith, Milton, Lewis, Dawn.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Is house bigger?
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal, but it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Wait, that counts.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Any other evidence? Don't think so.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Still a bit about over there.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Here it is. Oh.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
Ew, what is this?
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Follow the red carpet or the yellow brick road.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery.
This is multi-purposing at its finest. Multitasking. I'm cutting fishes' heads off and I'm venturing a labyrinth.
But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
Don't keep letting me kill a fish, please.
He told me he'd made a new friend.
A dog.
On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
Chopping.
Then one day
chopping.
it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Ooh. Chop. Chop.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
Haha, city, you've been conquered.
You, Louis.
Wait, there's... I quickly just keep that in view. Okay. I'm not gonna do that.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
He started drifting away from our reality.
This is hard to control. Especially multitasking in the background.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
You didn't go home?
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
Take the fish. 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 Fish.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a...
that one.
Handsome queen.
That doesn't look that good.
The queen was on her own quest for...
sinister serpents.
Sinister serpents.
Haha. Fish.
He followed the sound of her...
electric guitar.
Electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Golden?
Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Ah, how many fish?
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
You can't see him anymore.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
I like how it's just a big door. We're back in the real world. Wait, no, we're still in a memory thing. Trippy, dude.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Lewis.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Chop, chop.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
King.
The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Look, it's the cat Molly. Good day.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Kill her.
Bend down his head.
Oh, he killed himself in the fish thing.
And the rest I think
didn't
you know.
he?
Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Nice, isn't it? That was a long one. And
my brother was
that's
really
one
cool.
more.
I wish you could have met him.
Okay, so
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Back we go. Not there, because we can't go there. I just can't help but think, what's next? We can't go down there, or there. We'll see if there's something else through here. Because walking back, there was no dialogue. Why didn't I go through the actual exit?
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
I thought that was a knife. Oh god.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
Here we go, I can go through now.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
So who's left? Dawn and Edie.
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born.
Ooh, what's happening?
That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. No, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
I really can't see anything, so...
I got turned around. I started seeing things. ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car, and I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Oh, whoa.
We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot.
This is a cool way to do it.
The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive.
Oh boy.
Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Oh boy. And the book is filled out, and I'm back to actually...
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Well... that was a really good game. I quite enjoyed that. Did the credits roll? The game is done. Okay, it's time to end it here. I hope you enjoyed. And this game has to be one of my favorite games. Except it's a story game, so I probably won't say it again. But there we go. The story ends. And the credits roll. Okay. So now, yep, that's it. see you again whenever I upload or stream again. See ya. Wait, how do you end broadcasting again? Oh, okay. Goodbye.